Hey guys, welcome back. Beautiful morning here today. Actually, the next 6 days look nice with no rain. Tomorrow, the game plan is probably we're going to be making some third cutting hay. So making hay in October may sound strange. It's not very common, but we're having days in the high 70s and even lower 80s. So I think we're going to have some drying weather. We're going to be making third cut hay here and hopefully finish up second cut. I have a field or two of second cut I want to try to finish. But there is a small chance of rain this afternoon. So I'm going to just work in the shop today. And I don't mean to say a small chance of rain. It's an 80 or 90% chance of rain. So it is going to rain today. So we got some other things I got to finish up here in the shop and get ready for more haymaking here. So it's going to rain and there's no point in going out and cutting everything until see what the weather's doing today. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad under here. Anyway, I got the ball and the hitch in the back to move this welding trailer. I got to get the welding trailer outside. I got some welding I want to do this morning. So I'll get that hooked up and move it outside. All right, that should be a good spot. My welding leads aren't very long, so I have to be pretty close to the thing I want to weld. But I'll give you guys the rundown on this Lincoln welder generator. I'll get everything set up here and kind of give you the overview. Just a little bit longer would be perfect, but that'll work. I'll be happy with that. All right, so this is a Lincoln arc welder, stick welder. I'm looking, I don't see a model. What is it? Welding Power 225 G7. This, I don't know, would be 90s, probably 90s, maybe even earlier. Has a twin cylinder 16 horsepower Briggs & Stratton gas-powered engine, and it is a stick welder. It's not a MIG. I am not a MIG welder. I'm not afraid to say that online. I have never welded with a MIG welder. At the dealership, we had stick welders. That's what I learned to weld with. It's the farmer version of the welder. And because I was one of the younger guys there, I could see the best, and I did a lot of welding at the dealership. A lot of welding on some logging equipment and skid steers, all kinds of stuff. Got pretty good at it. So as far as the stick welder goes, I don't have any plans to buy a MIG because I've never used a MIG. And with all the pain in the neck that stick welders are, with the rod sticking and different problems you have with it, I don't know what a MIG welder is like, so I don't know any better. So this works good for me. So anyway, let's get on to this project. All right, so this jack came for this sprayer. I do have the two rings here that need to be welded on. As luck would have it, I removed the old jack simply by taking off this snap ring. I was going to put it up here somewhere, so it's a little bit further back, but the jack that I bought is not long enough and I'm going to need blocks. And the reason I'm changing this jack is so I wouldn't have to use blocks, because the old jack would only travel about 2 inches in either direction. So you had to block this thing up every time you wanted to unhook it. This here was bent, so I didn't have a lot of faith in it. The hole was wore where the pin goes in. It would, if you didn't unhook it exactly right, if it would coast forward or back, this would break away and the tongue would fall on the ground. Not safe. So as luck would have it, this ring actually, is it this ring? No, yeah, it is this ring. Look at that. This ring fits perfectly into the hole for this frame. Perfect. So as far as finding a nice flat spot on here, instead of welding it on the frame here, I can stick the ring right in that hole and tack it fast all the way around the outside here. So that's going to be the game plan. I don't think it's going to be in the way. It is sticking out a little bit there, but the tires rub when you turn. You're out here. You're not really in this area, so it's not really going to be in the way. And then this second ring here, it's going to get welded fast there, and that's where we're going to store the jack, up out of the way, instead of having it down there where you're turning. I have hit the other jack plenty of times, so we're going to store it up here. So it shouldn't be too bad to weld this here. This one is not structural. You're not supporting any weight. All it is a storage space. So really it only has to be tacked onto there. So I'm going to get this project started, and I don't know how this video is looking. I can't see my screen. It's kind of bright and sunny, but hopefully you can see it and you get the point. So let me get this lined up to the exact spot that I want it, and get welding. All right, so this welder originally had battery cables here for like a lawnmower battery, and what I think is a better solution are these ends here that I had just put on here, so we can use a bigger battery. Not that this thing is hard to start, but it does make it a little nicer when you have a decent battery on here than a lawn and garden battery. Plus I have more bigger batteries lying around than I do lawnmower batteries. So I'll get this in a decent spot. There is plenty of gas in it. Just check the oil here. This doesn't get run near enough. And it's got oil in it, so that's all that matters. All right, the worst thing with this welder generator are the leads. This end is totally shot. This end is you see it. It doesn't have much clamping force yet. You have to have the rod in just right. I do need to get an end for it. And these leads aren't in the best of shape either. Usually on your welders, that is one of the weaker links, are the leads. It's been my experience anyway. But the biggest thing I don't like about this thing is if you want to use it as a generator, you have to make sure your leads aren't touching or take them off, because there's nothing, as soon as you start it up, yeah, there's power to your welder. So I was having problems. Usually I like to weld in DC minus, and with some of this rustier metal, it's not the best. So I'm just going to go back to good old AC. AC will work. So to start it, you just pull the choke. Got a toggle switch here, stop, run, and then we'll start it here. Let it warm up. And I did have it running yesterday. So it'll run a while, warm up. And it has an idle down feature. Warm, it'll idle down. So I gotta go get my helmet and some welding rods. All right, for some reason it didn't want to idle down for me, so I don't know, whatever. The rods we'll be using are the good old 6011s here, staple in every farm shop, farm welder. So I'm gonna tack this on. I guess I can do a face reveal. There you go. All right, let me get welding this. All right, it's on there. That's pretty good. If it looks like crap, well, it's probably because it is. So now let me get the other one tacked on here. I think I'm just going to hold it on and just tack it in a couple places, and then we'll get it. I don't think I'll burn the tank. I'll have to keep an eye on it, but it should work. We'll give it a try. All right, so this one isn't structural. It's good enough for me. I'm gonna let the welder cool down. Let's hope this ground clamp should get replaced. I might have to do some grinding just looking at this. I think I went a little wild with the bead. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, we gotta do a little bit of grinding here. So let me get my grinder out. So this is DeWalt grinder number 4 or 5. I went through a lot of these at the dealership in the summer and spring. You were sharpening mower blades constantly. You just got so sick of sharpening mower blades. So they last for, I got like a year and a half out of each one. I was buying the 2-pack. You could get 2 of them for $99 at one of the big box stores. So that was kind of my what I was doing, just to be on a budget and save some money. Get 2 for the price of 1, but since I'm not at the dealership anymore, it doesn't see the amount of use. So let's get this ground down. Alright, so we managed to get it on here. I did run into some problems. You'll notice the pin is going through the jack this way, horizontally instead of down from the top. For whatever reason, this is the Bulldog jack adapter, and for whatever reason it does not match up with the holes here on the top side. I thought it did, but it's just off. So I can put it through the side and it's easy in, easy out, but not straight down. So I don't know at this point if I want to mess around with it or just remember I got to put it in that way. We'll look into that. So that one's on. Let's see if it goes in the storage position. All right, no problems in the storage position. Fits pretty good there. It's not in the way. You can still get up the steps. It's not sticking out too bad here, I guess. But anyway, now it's out of the way when you're not using it. We got this one here. I'm gonna spritz some paint on this just to keep it from rusting, or maybe even just some primer, and should be good to go here on this project. All right, we'll just put a little bit of grease in that grease zerk. You can see it does lift the it does lift here with ease. Now granted, it's just empty now, but so much better than the other one. Yeah, for some reason the adapter is different. The Bulldog one won't work so well with this other named brand jack. I could drill the holes out bigger, but then you're going to have wobble in it. So I'll just use the side, the horizontal position. It shouldn't hurt anything. It's still going to hold it, and we should be good to go. So that works. So the rust metal primer is the same rust color as the sprayer, so that's good. It's not really noticeable once it dries. I'm just going to let it dry here. And this project is done. Another minor annoyance constantly with this jack. Every time you hook and unhook, you got to bring blocks with, and you got to make sure that you're exactly on the level, and you have the wheels blocked and everything else. Now we should be good to just unhook it and be done with it. All these little things I'm trying to take care of, these tiny little annoyances that over time add up throughout the day, and then by the end of the day you just are just fed up with all these little annoyances. So just trying to make things flow a little bit easier here. So all right, I'm gonna put this away. I got to get everything cleaned up, and I want to film tomorrow's video yet today, so I'll see you guys later. There will be some haymaking videos coming soon, I'm hoping. So thanks for watching, and see you later.